But you know what? We have an exciting guest tonight. And why don't you do the introductions there, sir?
This next guest is a young man that I've known since he was a wee tyke. He is the son of one of my dear friends and a friend to this show, Mr. Warren Ham. So I'm watching TV the other morning, and on comes this young man, Robert Ham, as you see in that picture, who is a Pat Tillman Scholar. And he's got a very special thing that he is being rewarded with this coming week, and we're going to let him tell us all about it. His name is Robert Ham. Let's put our virtual hands together, everybody, for Mr. Robert Ham.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me. This is great.
Thank you for joining the show there, Robert.
Appreciate you both. You all. Thank you so much, Robbie. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. And by the way, that organ that we, just to digress for a second, that Hammond organ that I was playing in the introduction was Robert Ham's grandmother's organ, Hammond organ.
Wow.
That's right. My dad's mom. So, yeah. It runs in the family, the music does.
So this young man, well, this coming Monday, I think, or this Sunday night, there's a game. Isn't there coming up soon?
Pretty big game.
Pretty big game.
I think it's
and they have a coin toss, don't they?
Every time they do it, and somebody comes out and has to toss it. And
you know who's going to be tossing that coin? This young man right here, Robert Ham.
No pressure there.
Right?
No pressure
there. No, I know exactly. And I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm hoping I could edge to the Kansas City Chiefs. But
there we go.
I'm a Vikings fan. Luck of the draw.
Tell the audience how this came about. And you are a Pat Tillman Scholar, and you were honored with this great event, with this great honor. But tell them how they told you, because it was really exciting, and I think we have some pictures too.
Yeah, well, I'm part of this organization called the Pat Tillman Foundation, and it was started in 2009 by Pat Tillman's late wife, or Pat Tillman's widow, Marie Tillman. She was given, when he passed in 2004, when he was killed in Afghanistan, millions of dollars were sent to her, and she didn't really know what to do with it. So she basically started, along with some of Pat's friends and family, the Pat Tillman Foundation. And what they do is give scholarships to veterans, active duty service members, and service member spouses, military spouses, for scholarships for higher education. And I applied in 2016. I was going to USC Film School, and I was awarded the scholarship. And it's not just money for school. It's also an organization that comes together to try to help the community, help the country. There's a lot of different areas of expertise. I'm obviously in the humanities and the arts, but the majority are doctors and business folks and law, and a whole variety of folks that are out there. And there's about 800 of us now, because it's been since like 2009. There's about 60 added every year. Yeah. And they chose 4 of us to come out and be a part of the Super Bowl. They have a great partner in the NFL because of Pat Tillman's legacy, obviously. Mm-hmm. And JJ Watt, we were on a Zoom call, and I had no idea what it was. And JJ, they basically told me that it was going to be a Super Bowl party with investors. And it was actually JJ Watt telling us that we are going to go to the Super Bowl, and that we're going to be at the coin toss, and that there's going to be a video prior to the coin toss talking about the Pat Tillman Foundation as well. So obviously it's just a great honor. I get to bring my son, my 14-year-old son, who's a diehard football fan. And so super humbled by it, and just excited to do it, and hope I don't screw it up.
Oh, I'm sure you won't.
That's an exciting time. And JJ Watt, I mean, he just recently retired. Had a brilliant career, but it's all the work and the charity work that he does off the field. So hearing he's connected with what you're doing must be amazing.
It was, and he was such a sweet guy. And of course, I was like trying to be a cool guy and not try to show too much emotion around JJ Watt. You know, it looks like I don't want to scream or like start to cry, but no, it was amazing opportunity. And Eli's a defensive end. My son Elijah, he's 14, plays tackle football, and he was. I'm very proud dad. He was defensive player of the year, and he's a big fan of J.J. Watt, and so that was.
I can imagine, yeah.
More, and then I could take my son to the game, and he gets to meet all of his sports figures that he just adores. It's just so good. So it was an honor.
And I'm not sure that everybody in the audience even knows who Pat Tillman is and what he's all about. Would you mind just describing what Pat Tillman's legacy is all about?
Would love to. So, he grew up in Arizona, and he went to ASU, and he played with the Sun Devils as a linebacker. And he was just a great player, a passionate dude. And he made it to the NFL. And he played with the Arizona Cardinals. He actually decided to not go anywhere else. He took a lesser amount of money in a deal to stay in Arizona. So he's a big Arizona. The Arizona folks love Pat. He's a hero there. But after 9/11, he was inspired to want to serve his country and join the Army Rangers. He and his brother, Kevin Tillman, his brother, was a minor league baseball player as well. Mm-hmm. And so they joined together to be Army Rangers, and they both deployed to Iraq, and they did a deployment there. And let me add this: before he had joined, the Cardinals had offered him a $4.2 million deal, and he turned down that deal to join the military. So he did a deployment to Iraq. Then after that, a lesser known story is that the Seattle Seahawks were trying to pick him up. And there was around a $9 million contract out there for him potentially to go to the Seahawks. And the Army said, they never let anybody go. Let me assure you, I was in the Army for 7 years. They don't let anybody go out of their contract, But they were going to let him go, and he decided to stay and finish his contract. He went to Afghanistan and sadly was killed, unfortunately, by friendly fire in the first, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks in Afghanistan. Horrible tragedy. And there's some really good books about it. Where Men Win Glory is a really good book about. So that's his story, and obviously it was a big tragedy. It affected the Arizona community deeply, and of course his family and his widowed wife Marie. As I said before, there was such an outpouring. I think that there is an amazing heart in America and in the people and in who we are, that when we hear such a tragedy, there was such an outpouring to her family, and she received millions of dollars, and she didn't know what to do with it. And what do you do with all that money? So her and her family decided to start the Pat Tillman Foundation to help, people getting higher education to finish their degree and form a community of folks that want to just help and give back to their communities.
And you are a perfect example of the type of person who should be a beneficiary of that foundation, because your story is amazing in the sense that you have some parallels to Pat Tillman. Would you mind telling the audience what that is? I know when 9/11 happened, you were also inspired.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I think it's awfully humbling to be kind of even in the same sentence as a guy like Pat, who obviously paid the ultimate sacrifice, like so many during the global war on terror. After 9/11, I was 18 when 9/11 happened, and I was dad. I grew up under an amazing, brilliant musician. My dad, who
amen to that. Yes,
who's played, and as you guys mentioned, one of your favorite artists was Amy Grant. Dad played with Amy Grant. I grew up backstage at Amy Grant concerts and Donna Summer concerts, and and
Olivia Newton-John. I know, and
Olivia Newton-John. So that was my world, and I grew up in Los Angeles, and I wanted, I was always, fantasizing about being a director, a Hollywood director. I grew up on the other side of the tracks from Hollywood, and always wanted to do that. Got my undergrad. Like I said, I was 18 when 9/11 happened, and that kind of rocked everybody's world, Sure. And I finished my degree, and I was around 22, 23. I had gotten married. I got married just after I had graduated college, and floating around Hollywood trying to figure out what to do. I was a production assistant, I was an extra, I was just running film all over the city, and kind of lost a little bit and not really sure what I wanted to do. And I was struck that I wanted to serve my country, and I went to the recruiter because I kind of was naive about it, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I thought everything was infantry. But they had combat camera, they had combat videographer, and they're like, hey, you have a degree, you could come in as a specialist, get a little bump in money, you go airborne. So I was like, okay. I went back to my wife and I said, hey, babe, what do you think about this? And she was like, I'm not very excited about this option. No, thank you.
I guess not, yeah.
But anyway, I joined as a combat cameraman, and I did 7 years in the active duty service, and then got out and came back to LA. So,
well, Robert, thank you for serving, number one. And it's such an honor. I mean, Pat Tillman, amazing man, amazing family. I know what he stands for, that whole Arizona community. And this morning I had the opportunity to see Ray and his son, who's a sergeant in the Suffolk County Police. How is it working with your father after all these years, being backstage, but seeing your father perform over and over again, and then to see the work that you do and collaboratively really changing the world in your own way?
I love my dad so dearly, and he's had such an impact on me. And he raised me well. He raised me with strong values
and let me interject.
Love.
His parents are both class acts. Warren and Ava Ham are great friends, but they are great people and great parents.
Yeah,
you're in a situation whereas there aren't enough words to say the aspect of your parents, and that's beautiful. You're a blessed man.
I am a blessed man. Thank you.
Amen.
I am indeed, and to have loving parents that have supported my desire to be an artist. And it's funny though, because sometimes being a musician or an artist or a filmmaker, there's not always a clear path. And Dad always said, maybe the artist way is not the best potential avenue for you. And he was really supportive when I wanted to join the military. And interestingly, when I got out last year, when I was in 2020, when I was basically unemployed, because I'm a freelance filmmaker now. I make a lot of documentaries and stuff like that. And I was unemployed, and I basically tried to. I made a documentary about my dad. I found all this old footage of him.
By the way, let me interject as well. I've seen that documentary, and it's brilliant. Bravo to you on that. And we need to have you come back sometime, and we'll show that documentary or bits of it, because it's great, you guys.
Definitely.
I mean, Dad has all this great footage of him in the early days with Toto and Kansas, and then of course Amy Grant. And I went through all the tapes and stuff, and it was a real good way for me to kind of look back, appreciate what I have, appreciate how they raised me. We still, I had dinner with him the other night before he went off to travel around the country again, being back on the road as Dad always was when I was a kid.
Now, two people you brought up, Donna Summer and Olivia Newton-John. Talk about that being backstage when they're in their heyday.
Rest in peace to Donna. She was, what an amazing woman she was. I mean, in her songs, I still will be out at a restaurant or I'll be out at wherever, and you will hear some of her songs, on the radio or whatever it is. Or
MacArthur Park.
MacArthur, when she sings MacArthur Park, oh my God.
There'll be another song from me.
Oh, no. Come on now. Get out the muzzle.
Well, Frankie Valli, one thing, but Donna Summer, forget about it, Ray. Drop it.
I used to love that.
That's the last
It's
dance.
close. It's very close. It's like
last dance.
MacArthur Park is great, right?
Oh, it's when she sings it, her voice is so clear. I mean, she is Dad says it in my film because he talks about Donna. I mean, she was the original diva of the 70s and the 80s.
Absolutely.
But she didn't act like a diva. She was gracious to us. I remember one time I was doing a high school missions trip. I think I was going to Europe somewhere. And we have to go around and try to get money, $50 here from grandma, $100 here from the neighbors or whatever. Donna Summer sent me $1,000 check.
Wow.
That was the kind of woman, and this was in the
that was
in the
big
90s.
money in that time. Big money.
Well, that was like half my trip, and she was so gracious to our family. She kept Dad employed for over a decade, and every time I get choked up about her because she was just a legend, and also just like equally and a wonderful, gracious woman. So,
Well,
Hey, $1,000 today. That $1,000 today is over $10,000.
that's exactly right. And the graciousness of that.
I have one quick story about Donna Summer. I only met her one time, but I was with my two daughters when they were 4 and 2. It was just me and them in Philadelphia. We went to the Philadelphia Zoo, and I found out Donna Summer was performing. I didn't have tickets. We waited online. There was no tickets. Her people saw me and my two daughters in the with the stroller, and they gave us front row seats right there.
Wow.
We got to meet her backstage afterwards. It was phenomenal. I didn't know her. I'm not a musician, but for her people to do that was really unbelievable.
Very
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a big fan of my dad. I'm wearing all his swag. This is like the Peace Ringo, the Ringo shirt and Toto. I'm super proud of him. And growing up backstage at Amy, this is also in the film too. Amy Grant in the '80s when she was touring. She was the queen of Christian pop, Yeah,
She was on fire. She was working with Peter Cetera and all that.
Oh man, yeah, an old school Michael W. Smith, and those were great. Those are great days, and she would pack out stadiums, And I was just a little kid wandering around. I had no idea that this was the world that I was in.
I'll know better what you do next time I fall.
Hey, after the show. How about Olivia Newton-John, real quick? Olivia Newton-John.
Man, again, rest in peace to her. She was. I have a lot to say about Olivia, so I'll try to keep it brief. We would always go to Vegas and see her when Dad was playing with her at the Flamingo, and I've seen her probably more times than a lot of the folks.
And your dad used to sing the duets with her on stage. That was always cool.
They sang the Grease duet together. That's also in the documentary too. And man, she was always so kind to us. She was always so good to Dad. Another one of those amazing singers and women that kept Dad employed for like over a decade. And sadly my wife passed of cancer last year, and during that process, Olivia and her family would always send us notes and be engaged with my dad about it, and ask for and be engaged about how to help in any way, and sent us all sorts of packages and stuff, which was always so sweet because, I only met her a couple times. I didn't know her at all, but she was very kind to Dad and our family, and I have a special place in my heart for her. So, rest in peace to her. And she's just, what a presence she had on stage, what a voice she had, she was just, and some of the so many classics. And so,
what was your favorite Olivia song?
I like the Grease medley. But I like Xanadu too. I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun song.
Don't do it, Ray. Don't do it.
All right.
Don't do it.
I don't know. I have a lot to say about her. So, and special place in our heart and our family for her and all of these folks that Dad played with. And Frankie Valli and Robbie too. Dad has played so many times with you guys. So
have you met Frankie?
Many, many, many years ago when Dad played with him. I think it was in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the 90s, your dad. But, Warren and I have played together in a million different scenarios. And Warren has been a regular at Jam for Jesus that we do every December now for decades. And he's been over in this studio many times. And he's been a guest on Reach Out a few times, too. Yeah, he's one of the great...
Yeah,
first of all, he's one of the most talented.
The Ham Show.
Warren Ham is one of the most talented human beings on the planet, but is also one of the great people in the business too.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and we're all Dodgers fans. Sorry.
Wow. Well, yeah. Nice to have you on.
From LA. So what can you say?
So Robert, your routine. I know what the players' routine is before the Super Bowl. What's your routine Super Bowl Sunday?
Oh man, they have a itinerary all planned out for us. I think we're going the day before to do rehearsals, which I guess is just like walk out on the field. I'm trying to practice my wave. Like, I don't want that wave. It's like and then I gotta. I don't know. Do I just toss it up or do I flip it? I don't know. Give me some advice.
Don't worry. Millions and millions of people are going to be watching you flip this.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Tell me about it. Live on.
And whatever you do, you're going to have millions and millions of people say you did it wrong anyhow. So you can only, in that kind of a situation, it's a no-win situation. You got to lose to half the audience.
No, the toughest question will be, what are you going to wear?
What am I gonna? Okay. The good news is that they have Pat Tillman swag for us, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I did get new shoes. I got some nice white Jordans actually.
What about the hat? What's the hat gonna be?
What's the hat gonna? I might go just like comb my hair. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't. That could be a controversial thing because I'm a Cowboys fan. I definitely don't want to do that. So I might get creamed by some of the Eagles guys. So maybe I'll.
You might as well just wear a Dodger hat.
I know you're gonna do well, Robert. I know you're gonna do well, but if you see a red flag after the coin flip, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. Okay. You're a Vikings fan. You said, right?
I'm a Vikings fan, but I know the feeling. But you guys won a couple of Super Bowls, and I don't know what's going to happen to Dak Prescott or the Cowboys next year, but it remains to be seen, right?
It does. We get to go to a celebrity flag football game on Saturday, and Michael Irvin is one of the team captains. So I'm excited because I grew up in that era of football. My dad's from Fort Worth, so he raised me as a diehard Cowboys fan, right? So I'm stuck with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones for another however long. Cowboys are the Cowboys. But I'm hoping that they could do better next year. Yeah.
Well, Robert, I know you have to run. We really appreciate you coming on here. How can people view your documentary? And I have one last question.
Oh, there it is. He put the documentary on. That's how you can find. And of course, support the Pat Tillman Foundation if people are interested in that. So at PatTillmanFoundation.org.
And you get to see Rihanna up and close on halftime.
I'm pretty pumped about seeing Rihanna. Yeah, that'll be super fun. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I'm sure they're going to give us some good seats too. So, look at all the. Thanks.
Big congratulations to you on the honor of being able to do this coin toss, but even more important, big congratulations to you for the way that you serve your fellow man and you serve this world with all your gifts and talents. And thank you for everything you do, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me on the show. It's fantastic. You guys are great.
No, and I think about you and, how you handle the scenario with your wife and all that. You're a very strong man. I appreciate you for that.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it's not been easy, but, I have my 2 kids and we're doing the best that we can. We got a big family. My mom and my dad are big supporters, help us give me some time off during the weekend where they watch the kids all the time. So
just so you know, I'm a very good babysitter. I used to babysit Barry Bonds when he was a little boy and Robbie Alomar and all those guys that got into the hall. So I'm more than happy to babysit yours.
Oh, okay. Well, they're 14 and 11, so I'll bring them over.
Well, I got boxing gloves.
Good luck, Ray.
Okay.
you can see them. You can see to them.
I'll take you up. I'm going to take you up on that, Ray.
Anytime, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Go to a Yankee game in New York to watch the kids for
No, you come. You bring them to the game. We'll, when you come to New York with the kids, we all go to the stadium.
Oh, man. That would be awesome. I love it.
No, that's a date.
That is a date. I appreciate it. Thank you. My daughter's been dying to go to New York, so maybe.
No, then we got it.
Gotta come. Got it. Robert, God bless you, sir. Robbie, thank you.
God bless y'all too. Thank you so much.
God bless. Robert Ham, what a class act.
You know what? He is such a special young man. And I told Warren this morning, I said, man, it won't be one of these days coming up soon, brother. You're going to be known as Robert Ham's father, not him known as Warren Ham's son. What's
going on with Robbie's records?
Okay, so this morning yesterday on my Jam and Java show last night, we released a world release of a brand new song on Robbie's records, and the song is called Give It Some Thought, where I collaborated with the amazingly talented Andrea Hammond. And so it was released last night. This morning, I woke up to this really cool news. It's number 18 on this one Christian Top 100 list. So, I mean,
cow.
I mean, it was just released last night. I'm flabbergasted, and I'm so thankful, and it's a great song. And I wonder if we even have time to play it for the people, because I think
right now.
Yeah, we're going to play it right now. What a better way to end the show off today or tonight with this song. Robbie, congratulations.
Give it some thought, everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Robbie, God bless. Thank you so very much.
Next week.
See you next week.
Say hi to Frankie, please.
Love
You got it.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Who do you think I am? Messiah, son of God, son of man. Who do you think I am? A liar, lunatic, or the Lord? I calm the raging sea with one command. Turn water into wine, healed the blind with my hand. I took up my cross so you understand. Now's the time to believe. Give it some thought. You have to know that you know. Give it some thought and let the Spirit show. Some say this and some say that the world will pass away. So what do you say? Give it some thought. Who do you think I am? Messiah, son of God, son of man. Who do you think I am? A liar, lunatic, or the Lord? I calm the raging sea with one command. Turn water into wine, healed the blind with my hand. I took up my cross so you understand. Now's the time for you to believe.